Pratap, thanks so much for doing this. I sent you an invite, and because I wanted the advertising perspective on this entire scenario, of
Right,
coronavirus and
right.
COVID-19. So thanks for doing this.
Very welcome.
So, as I, discussed with you when I invited you, is that we wanted to just give people some perspective on how everybody is dealing with this scenario, right? So,
Right.
starting with how the lockdown is treating you, can you can you just tell me how has it been for you personally? Of course, we'll come to
So
the
it
aspect.
yeah. So it's a bit like this. See, personally, I've always been in a way, I'm more of an introvert, and I keep to myself. I don't socialize much. So
Yeah,
from that perspective, I'm very comfortable with this environment.
right.
So it's not something. I'm not a total party goer and extrovert and need to get drunk every evening. So from that perspective, I'm very cool.
Yeah. So, I come from an advertising background myself, right? I started my
Okay.
career in McCann, yeah. And so I know that in a crisis like this, the first thing that people will do, business owners will do, is cut advertising expense, right?
Right.
Because that is the inevitable. In fact, I just got,
No,
yeah,
I actually think the other way around.
okay,
In the sense, see, the thing is that there are two, three things which are happening. Now, the entire Indian population, so to say, is sitting at home and they are captive advertising audiences, right? They have, I mean, barring the Netflixing generation and people, the rest of them only have television, right? And
yeah,
newspapers. So, from that media perspective, ideally, one, inventory should be going cheaper to attract more people to come and advertise, because I'm sure a lot of agencies and a lot of brands have ready-made stuff with them, right? The whole point is that, I mean, if you increase advertising and if you can't really go out and buy, then you have a problem, right? So
yeah,
how do you counter that? So you could do pre-booking of sorts. You like something and you can book after, book this now, and it will be delivered, let's say 30 days from now or a month and a half from now or whatever. I mean, there's so many ways of innovating that and getting the best advantage out.
hmm.
That I don't think is happening. I think everybody's kind of cramping down on
Yeah,
expenses.
because I guess the top line will definitely take a hit,
Right. See,
and
but then when you're talking about a large, let's say a 10,000, 20,000 crore company, at best, from even if they don't advertise, even hiring an agency, like they might be hiring an agency purely only for digital reasons today, and uh, it might be what, 5 lakhs a month, 10 lakhs a month, which is hardly anything compared to the 10,000 crore, or the 500 crore turnover of profits that you make.
right.
And for you to also disappear completely from media per se is also not very good for the brand. You can
No,
start
sure. I mean,
conversations.
there are two schools of thoughts, I guess. People will decide exactly which way they want to go. But in
Right.
terms of, yeah, in terms of the industry per se, your perspective on the challenges you're facing at the moment, because I know there are a lot of anxious people out there. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and mid-size agencies, small agencies.
I mean, to me, the good thing about this is that it is a universal problem. It is not a problem. It is not something which only affects one section of the community, right? Or
True,
one
true.
state in the country. It is across the globe. So, as an entire race, humankind has just stepped down two levels, right? Now, so it is not that because of, so I am doing badly and I don't have the fear that somebody else is going to take advantage of me. No, even he is jacked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or somebody else is jacked. So all of us are in the same boat. I mean, we are all together. So it's like, what do you call, collectively, we have all come down a bit, right? It's not something that this business is dead or people won't buy anything things anymore. It's not that. Oh, sure, it's going to be tough in a sense. It's going to be difficult because
Hmm.
even from behavior onwards, people will change.
Yeah, I
right? I
mean,
mean,
I firmly believe that new businesses will come up, new formats
no,
will come up.
there is. I mean,
Yeah,
this particular thing opens up a line of new product ideas.
exactly.
Lots
Innovations.
of
And
things. Yeah,
in fact, as a
absolutely.
consultant, I'm already, seeing that so many entrepreneurs are already approaching us for some really unique ideas based
Right,
on these
right.
times.
And even from a consumer perspective, I mean today, and if you look at it, with social distancing out there, and till the time there is 100% cure or a vaccine, we all stand the risk of catching this somewhere or the other, right? Because you don't know. You go out
Hmm.
in the open world, you don't know whom you're going to meet, whom
Yeah.
are you going to sit in the car with, whom are you going to ride in the plane with. You have no clue, right?
Hmm.
So you would actually want to, in fact, a lot of people might not now travel with, let's say the Uber pool or the Ola pool. They would actually want to buy their own cars. So, the automotive industry just might see a resurgence because of this. While people may not be buying cars today or
Hmm.
driving them today, but when you come back into a place where you want to sort of hold back your exposure to the world, the only safe way of reaching office is therefore by driving your own car. And if you don't have one, you're probably going to take one or
I
to
think
buy
that's a
one.
very interesting thing,
You
the
know,
interesting take, because it's like, what happened after 9/11, right? It was just a reset
right?
button for the way security is at the airports.
Absolutely. And again, if you look at it, if you look at the food department in the house, suddenly we are finding that the fridge is not big enough, right? Or the fridge is not big enough, or we are looking at, okay, maybe we should buy another fridge, or maybe we should buy a freezer because we need to have more stuff in the house. So
Yeah,
suddenly I am consciously thinking of now which freezer to buy, right?
yeah,
So there are so many new things that you would want to have in the house
yeah,
just in case this kind of a thing happens again, because you
right.
want to be prepared. I mean, if you have that slightly additional cushion to spend another ten
In
thousand,
fact,
20,000 more,
in fact,
you know.
many are thinking of dough makers and you know
Yeah,
commercial dough makers at home. So
yeah, I know. There are so many things that you suddenly need. Like even I mean, none of us really wanted masks and gloves in the house. Suddenly,
yeah,
there is a need for that.
yeah,
And of course now from its medical purpose, it is obviously going to get fashionable. So they're going to be nicely designed stuff, and
yeah, yeah.
there'll be stuff with bling on it,
Could
and
become the new normal. Could become the new
embroidered
normal.
stuff. Yeah, it will be something. It's like when the mobile phone came out, it was just a mobile phone. Suddenly there were mobile phone cases. Then people started
Yeah,
experimenting with it, and now there are all sorts of fancy things, right?
yeah,
So the same way with a mask. So there would be obviously people would look at, why would I want to wear a surgical mask? Why would I not want to wear something else which has got something else in it, right?
right.
So
So
there are so
you, I
many
mean,
opportunities coming
as
up.
a veteran in the advertising industry, you see this as much as an opportunity as maybe a
Now, see, there are
challenge.
two
Yeah,
kinds of humans, right? There are pessimists and there are optimists. Now, I don't want to be a pessimist because that is exactly what most of the world is today. I would rather be an optimist because it is like I said, it's not that somebody has dropped a nuclear bomb and therefore it has taken out, you know, 50% of the world's population. Therefore, things are that way. It's not that. I mean, see, it is only it is not your fault. It's not my fault that this thing has happened. So you can't really sit back and say, "Oh shit, what did I do wrong?" You can't say anything. This is out of your hands. I can understand if you're having a bad year because you did not work well or you did not have the right people to deliver work to your clients. They're all good reasons. You can sit back and say, "Look, that's my fault. This is not anybody's fault.
right.
You can't blame anyone. This has just happened, right?" It's not that. It's going to be a slow start. So a
Hmm.
lot of a lot of people. In fact, I know a few people. I don't want to say which agency, but some very very big agencies have dropped people. Okay, senior people, and they have been asked to let go. And in fact, some of them have actually said, and this is the really sad bit of it. Why are you sacking us? Don't sack us now. We don't know where we are going. We haven't planned for it. So why don't we do one thing? Why don't we continue working, but without salary? In the sense that, look,
Hmm.
these guys are paid well enough so that they have some sort of cushions and reserves, etc. But
Hmm.
they said, look, wake up in the morning and suddenly if I don't have a job, so I don't feel very good about myself. And I also know that I'm not going to get a job so soon at my level and my cost. I might as well keep myself busy, so I'll come and work with you. So a couple of guys offered to work with me. I said, look, man, because then it becomes an obligation.
No, in fact,
So
idleness is something that people are fighting, through this
yeah,
period, and it's a good formula if it works with their own clients. It's a very interesting thought to say that I'll continue the work for
correct.
you,
And
and
you
at
don't
least
pay
I'm
me. You
busy and
don't
I'm
pay me.
keeping my
And
employees
and
busy.
right. And hopefully till when the business improves, then you can start paying me from then on. But let
Yeah,
me be there. Let me not sit at home and while my time away because I'll feel frustrated, right? So I mean,
right.
which is another way of looking at it. Yeah. And I'm actually, said I'm actually open to that. My only, like I said, my only fear is that uh, they will bring in a certain skill set which I may not be able to afford later on. You know, so
Hmm. What
and
is
that
your
I don't
take?
want to.
What is your take on the whole issue of consumerism now after this? Do you see this as just a period, and it'll go back to where we were, or do you see this as a shift?
See, like I said, there is a very detrimental landmark that we need to keep in mind, which is that we suddenly know that we are mortal. We are no longer immortal. We could catch this damn thing. I mean, while 90% of the cases are curable, there is a certain kind of people who get really sick with this, right? Now, till the time you you know that this can be fixed either through a cure or through a vaccine, I want to make sure that I'm being careful. And it comes from survival instinct and nothing else. Once it is over, and then you again assume your
Hmm.
immortality, so to say, then it's going to skyrocket again. It's going to go back to where it was.
Do you see this as a shift, say, in focus on health? For example, advertising has made those shifts for society, right?
Right, right,
Like liberalization, and even like LGBT community, showing that in ads, showing that in communication, obviously helps steer society, right?
right. Correct.
My last question to you is this: how do you think advertising is going to steer society going forward?
I think advertising, like I said today, there's been so much of fear psychosis that's been built up by sheer information and messaging, right? So the scare has already been taken care of. People are very, very aware. I think advertising should ease the situation a little more rather than adding to this. I mean, yes, we have to be careful, but we have to be careful without getting, hysterical about it.
Yeah, because that'll affect your mental health
I
eventually,
mean,
and
more
physical
than
health.
that, more than that. Look at how offices have to now keep people away from each other.
Sure.
I mean, like the first thought I had was, in fact, I wrote about it the other day, that the first day when you are going back to work and you're waiting to take that elevator, I'm going to dread that because there are going to be 20 people inside. Some of them might be coughing, and one guy coughs, and this whole elevator is going to get into a panic.
Right.
There are so many changes that faces.
Right. So, any last thoughts for people who are watching, and just how would you like to leave?
Like I said, there is no point getting stressed about the situation. Because this is beyond you.
Sure.
It's not something that you could sit at home and fix. You cannot fix it. This has to get fixed on its own, right? So, like I said, you're not at fault. So, give up. And you don't know. I mean, see, the thing is, there are mounting bills. What can you do? Is there anything you can do? There is nothing you can do. So, if it is something where you cannot do anything about it, just give up. Let it be. Let it be and let
Hmm. It's
finally
like
all
how
gone
Dalai
wrong.
Lama said, right? If you can't control something, why worry? And if you can
Yeah.
control
Why
something,
worry?
why
I mean,
worry?
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
There is nothing you can do about it. There is no point stressing about it.
Hmm.
Like I said, it's not that you are the only one who's in this spot of trouble. Everybody is in this trouble.
Right.
Everybody is troubled. I mean, if you're an employer, then you have your own set of troubles. If you're an employee, you have your own set of troubles. Even if you're a wealthy businessman, you have issues because you don't know where this business is going to go. If people don't get well, what will you start? What will you manufacture? Right?
Hmm.
There are so many issues for everybody. And the bigger you are in the hierarchy, the more trouble you have. So to me,
Right.
is the way I look at life is that this is it's like you've been dropped off a parachute. I mean, of an airplane. You're freewheeling in the air. You have no idea where the ground is. One day you will land. You might land on top of a tree or in a swimming pool or on a haystack, but you will land. Well, then we will see. You
Thank you
cross the
so
bridge as
much.
you come
Thank
to
you
it.
so much, Pratap. It was great
You're
talking to
very
you.
welcome. Very
Thanks a
welcome.
lot.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.